To the, whatever the date is, the April 4th meeting of the Novato Unified School District Board. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This evening, President Butler is absent. I have asked Trustee Gasson to serve as Vice President Clerk for this evening. Trustee Gasson, would you please report out on closed session?
Sure, thank you. So the board met in closed session on 4 items as follows. Item B, with respect to every item of business to be discussed in closed session, public employees discipline, dismissal, release was informational only. Item C, with respect to every item of business to be discussed in closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54957 and Section 54957.6, conference with labor negotiators. Francesca Whitcomb, Director of Human Resources, Employee Organization, Nevada Federation of Teachers, NFT, was information only. Item D, with respect to every item of business to be discussed in closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54957 and Section 54957.6, conference with labor negotiators. Francesca Whitcomb, Director of Human Resources, Employees Organization, Management, and Unrepresented, was informational only. And item E, with respect to every item of business to be discussed in closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9, conference with legal counsel, litigation, which was 1 case, was informational only as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 7, approval of agenda. Do any trustees have any changes requested for the agenda? If not, might we have a motion to approve?
I'll move the order of business item number 7 for the evening.
And I'll second it.
All those in favor? Opposed? Thank you. We have 6-4, no opposed, 2 additional. Okay, we're going now to the consent agenda. We have 2 items for public comment on consent. Might we first have Alan Harris and then Noella de Ferenza? You each will have 3 minutes.
Consent agenda items involving policy and administrative regulations 30 years ago were the most arcane parts of a trustee's job. I've asked to make 1 or 2 comments and raise some questions for the Chief Financial Officer on the electronic signatures policy and administrative regulations. I received all of the backup material, which I think the trustees have from the Business Operations Division. And I have no problems with what you're considering. I think it's very encouraging and laudable, but it's very complicated, and CSBA seems to have merged under the general title of electronic signatures, both digital signatures as well as electronic signatures. And they're just calling them electronic signatures for purposes of, I don't know, further confusing somebody like me. So I would like to know what the district's current practice is with respect to electronic signatures. And I don't know if the Chief Business Officer here. Okay, fine, thank you.
Item F, sorry. And then do we have the other speaker, Noella de Ferenza? Pardon me if that's incorrect.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Noella de Ferenza. I'm a junior at San Marin High School, and I'm going to be talking about our current trip to the Houston World Championships on behalf of Penguin Empire Robotics. So this month in March, we competed at the Central Valley Regional in Fresno and the Sacramento Regional at UC Davis. Since January, so for the past 6 to 9 weeks, we've been entered in our robotics build season. And every week we spent over 20 hours a week for a total of over 300 hours working on this robot that we got to compete with twice in 2 regionals. At our most recent regional at UC Davis, we placed 4th out of 46 teams individually, and our alliance got 2nd place, making us finalists at the competition. Since we were finalists, we earned ourselves a spot at the Houston World Championships at the end of April, which on your agenda is to approve our field trip form for that. Currently, I'd like to ask if anyone on the board would be able to send an email to the entire district with our GoFundMe links, because we're trying to raise $25,000 to support the members going to the trip and also for robot transport costs and registration fees. One of our alliance members who was with us at UC Davis, they're called Team Berkelium from Berkeley High School. They were able to raise over $31,000 in 1 week, and currently with our GoFundMe, we're at $11,450. So to all of our donors, we sincerely thank everyone for supporting us, and we encourage the board to help us reach our goal as soon as we can. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any items from consent that board members would like to pull? Okay, hearing none, would we like to have a motion to approve consent minus item F?
I'll move the consent item minus item F, which we will take up later this evening. And thank you for the student comments.
All those in favor?
Oh, I'll second.
Oh, Abby did,
Oh.
sorry. Trustee Pickus did.
Oh, I didn't see it. Okay.
And any opposed? Okay, we have 6 for and 2 preferential votes. We will now go to announcements. Student trustees, would you start us off, please?
Hi, guys. So we've had a pretty lively past couple weeks. A lot of love for MSA. We had our MSA showcase, and leading up to that, we had the Showcase Spirit Week. And at lunch, every single day, we would have MSA performances. We had like a tie-dyeing event, or in our big Center for the Arts, we had cinematic arts students show off some of their films. So it was a really like awesome Spirit Week. A lot of people dressed up. And then on April 1st, we had our showcase, which was awesome. There was a big festival outside where you could, we were selling raffle tickets, and we were showing off every MSA discipline in different booths that parents could come and see. It was really cool. It felt like there was a lot of love for the community, and we had a large performance set up for the end of that night, and then there was a big like party at the end. So it was just like, it was awesome. You get to see, as a student, I got to see my fellow students' talent, which is crazy, and for all the parents get to see like, you know, what we spent time at school doing. So it was really cool. And then we had the end of our progress report on Friday, so it was a busy week getting all of our work in before Friday. And then coming up, we have our lip dub. This is a student's, Hannes Gerber, his senior project, and it's happening on Thursday, and everyone is going to line throughout this route, going through the school and going to be lip syncing to a song to just, it's building school spirit, and we'll have a really cool video at the end of it. And then coming into spring break, it's MSA Theater's Tech Week for Stupid Effing Bird, which will be performed second weekend of spring break, I believe. And then apart from that, we are, as senior class, is finalizing our prom ticket and prom details, but we're really pumped to be going into prom. And then the seniors class is extending our flocking fundraiser for a few more weeks because it's super popular. We've made quite a lot from that, which is very cool. So a busy couple weeks.
Hello, so at Marin Oaks and our Nova student, at our Marin Oaks campus, we've been pretty busy this past couple weeks. Our Bridges program had a resume workshop with Novato Inspiration Initiative last Thursday, and our art students have started their mural paintings. So we did that last year and then this year as well. The doors have begun, the students have already begun painting their doors and are already transforming our school even more. And also our garden club / dirt club is working on planting flowers in the Nova Wing. And WASC is coming to evaluate our school towards the end of this month, and we need their support. The welcome reception is at 2 p.m. on Sunday, April 23rd at the Hill Library, and some food will be provided. And International Food Day is this Friday at 12:10 p.m., and you are all welcome to join.
Thank you. She was just sharing with me the picture on page 9 of the report of Marin Oaks door example. One of her friends has done that. It's his door, and she was bragging on him on the presentation. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I haven't done anything. I guess I went and talked to the government group here in Novato, government agencies group, and I talked to them this morning about how the school's involved with the city in terms of providing facilities beyond just academic work in terms of the other parts of the community athletic fields and other parts, and we talked about the history. So that was an interesting hour with that group, the fire chief and others, city manager coming to get together. And the other thing I would like to know, how do the robotics club, who is the instructor I should call to make an appointment to visit you guys?
Mike
C S-O-U-S-A. Sosa, okay. I will do that. Thank you very much. That's all.
I had the opportunity to attend the MSA showcase this weekend and was, blown away. I ran into Dr. Derby as she was walking in, and I didn't really understand what I was walking into. And I think that just really, the opportunity to go and see the work that you're doing, and I think this is probably true of most programs that we have here in Novato, that when you get to go and actually see what's happening, it's pretty mind-blowing. I was really impressed not only with the talent of the students, first and foremost, but also just the way the community, I know we're here to celebrate that tonight, but also just the way that the community rallies around art, and the importance of art in this community is really exciting for me. And I think it's really impressive. And just a huge shout out to the parents and the staff who put in all the extra hours to put on a Spirit Week and a weekend event that was really so beautiful. Congratulations to everyone involved. It was incredible. So that was really phenomenal. And also just to say that, at times we get emails from community members and parents and students around things that are happening. It'd be great to get that GoFundMe link. I'm sure I can search it maybe, but if you could send that would be helpful. And I've had the chance this past week to talk with different families, some in the special ed community, and it's just really helpful to get community input on what you're seeing and experiencing. So thank you.
No updates.
I know, and a gap. So I did attend the MCSBA executive board meeting during the week, and spent a lot of time putting together the planned countywide school board MCSBA event at Rancho Nicasio on May 31st. Also open up the discussion to talk a little bit about some of the parent involvement concerns that we're having here, that we're seeing across the county, and we're going to make that a focus going forward. So finding ways to get parents more involved, not only for students that are just not as engaged as they could be, but also in terms of what's really going on in this community, so they really understand its implications.
So I've been in the classroom having fun with kids in elementary school. It's always so fun to hear what they're talking about, and attending open houses. Went to the, Hamilton and PV open houses, which were a lot of fun. And tomorrow is Rancho at 6 p.m. So.
I had a informational meeting with our auditors. I attended the school fuel board meeting. The outcome from their gala was fantastic. They're in the middle of preparations for the tour of Novato. It's returning to downtown. It will be a bike ride and community fair featuring performances from students and multiple Novato schools. It will be on May 13th. It is a fundraiser, obviously, as all things are, school fuel, and a celebration of all of Novato's schools. So we will be really excited to participate in that. I'm sure you'll get lots of information from individual sites around how you can fundraise. This is an interesting event in that it goes right back to your schools, so that's fantastic. And then today I was involved with a Marin Realtors Association information event where they got to learn more about our wonderful schools. There was a presentation of this beautiful piece of information literature around our district, which I'm sure will be readily available in many locations in the future.
Absolutely. Okay, this is a very beautiful document, and I just want to acknowledge Leslie. Oh, she's in the back. She developed it. It's probably a first for us in a very long time, State of the District. And when we were trying to get ready for the realtors, and we were quietly doing that because we were getting everything to see if all the tech was working. I'm not sure, but Blaine was leading two other kids right through the Performing Arts Center with this blaring music, and all of a sudden they're going down the lane to get ready for Friday, I'm assuming, for the event that you were doing, right? Is that what they're videoing? What you just described? You just came through the pack.
The video that you guys are doing.
The video that you were doing, you had the camera, you were leading.
Yes.
Yes. And then I'm just wondering, Blaine, if you want to share anything that you shared at the showcase about where you might be going to school. Just thought that might be interesting.
If I must.
Look at his shirt.
I'm going to film school at USC, which is very cool. Thank you.
Pretty fabulous.
But it's because of MSA, so you'll see their presentation in a sec, but it's because of this like ridiculous school that I get to go to. So thanks for the plug.
Great,
but,
sure.
Yeah.
And then I want to acknowledge Stephanie because we opened the session this morning with the realtors that came with a video that you did with Julia Lavaroni, and you were the narrator. So we were trying to get that when Blaine was coming through very noisily, we were trying to listen to you. So but anyway, you did a wonderful job, and everyone really enjoyed that opening. So thank you, Steph. In addition to our robotics club going to Houston, the chess club that really decimated Ross the other night is going to be in Austin about the same time you are in Houston. So they're yours is called a world championship, and theirs is called a national championship. So we've got two teams going at the same time to Austin, so we're really excited about that. San Marin is doing Something Rotten coming up very soon. I hear it's very funny. I do not know that play, but we're excited to see that. Anthony Muhammad's going to be here on April 19th from 5 to 6 for the community. It'll be live streamed, and he'll be doing a comparison of what he did last year, what are our accomplishments from last year, and then what are they this year, and where do we want to go? Where does the board want to direct us to go? So that's all great.
What was the date of
For April 19th, 5 to 6.
Okay, we're on to item 10. Might we please have the Marin School of the Arts representatives come forward? If you are at all involved, you know who you are, please come up.
Yeah. Ray, I think you and Michelle, you'll introduce your team.
I'll introduce Michelle and she'll introduce.
Are you allowed to leave? Yeah, he can leave his station.
USC guy can stay over there.
Ooh. Dave. And we really do need to thank you all for being here. We really do need to point out the first graduating class. Are you going to announce her?
No, you are.
Oh. Okay, so we have a wonderful vocal music teacher, Ann Margaret, and if you watch her conduct, she conducts the same way that Jenny Bent conducted. And that was her first teacher, and Jenny is now a professor at Sonoma State. And the elegance with which they conduct, it's like, if I didn't know it was Margaret, I would have thought it was Jenny. And the closing song that you did for the showcase was unbelievable. And as one of the first graduating seniors for MSA, she has now taken her work to San Jose. And she has already started. She's doing the STEAM program and wants to continue to build that program. So these connections that our students that came through our system are making to continue our work is absolutely incredible, and I just wanted to acknowledge you for that. Okay.
Okay, so I'm very fortunate not only to have been the principal many, many years ago, but to come back and be the principal during the 20th year celebration. And I think the contributions to MSA are vast. Everybody in this room, one way or another, knows somebody that was in MSA, knows a parent that was in MSA, knows a volunteer that was part of MSA. So I think MSA has touched everyone in this community. MSA is a community program. And all our teachers at Novato High School contribute to the success of MSA students. Every one of them, in English, math, social studies, science. It's a combined effort to make this program successful. And the wonderful thing is that we have such wonderful people. And I can't take credit because the people here behind me are the ones that are doing all the work. I just kind of stepped in and I'm just kind of floating on air. So with that, I'd like to introduce Michelle, our MSA director.
Thank you. MSA is a place where kids can explore their identities, purposes, and passions, and remember that creativity is not just about the arts, but it supports us in all those other areas. But we couldn't do what we do without our families who really engage deeply in all aspects of the school. So I'm going to cede time to David Winnett, who's our outgoing MSA Foundation Board President after 12 years and 3 children. Are we going to cry?
Well,
Wasn't going to.
And then I queued it up, as well as our 2 incoming MSA Foundation board presidents as well. So
she didn't say I'd be saying anything tonight, so she laid the trap for me to cry. I'll try very hard not to, but for those of you who were able to join us over the weekend, you know the magic that takes place on that campus, and you know that it takes an army, hundreds and hundreds of volunteer hours, not only from our teachers who are volunteering their time outside the classroom, but for an amazing group of parent and student volunteers as well. It was a lot of community buy-in to celebrate what's happening currently, but also look back on 20 years, what started as a little nugget of an idea that has now, over these 20 years, changed the lives of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of students, many of whom who have gone on into the arts and many of whom have not, but take the lessons they learned collaborating and working together and succeeding and failing and still getting on with the next day, which to me is perhaps the most magical gift that we give these kids. So I'm incredibly honored to be here this evening. Thank you for your years of support. Thank you to Dr. Derby, who I know through like 19 different ways because her daughter and my wife taught together for years. I'm honored to have with me the 2 superstar vice presidents who are going to be the 2 superstar presidents next year, Jessica Egan and Terry Corrine, and I'm going to let them say hello before I start crying. Yes, you're going to say hi. Come on, Terry, come say hi.
I'm not as tall. Hi, I'm Jessica. I am new to Novato, only 2 years in. We live in San Rafael, and we sent our son to MSA because art is such an integral part of his day that he could not imagine going to high school any other place. And we were thrilled, absolutely thrilled, that he was so drawn to MSA because my husband and I were equally drawn when we visited, which was, by the way, during COVID. So it was even over Zoom that we thought it was amazing. And then when we actually got to go, we could see what all the fuss was about. So it is my complete honor and privilege to serve on the MSA Foundation Board. I have loved every minute. I have met wonderful parents, wonderful members of the community, staff, teachers, admin, everybody, and all of the students. They are an unbelievable support. And I think that MSA is really a fabulous school. And I'm thrilled that Novato has it.
Well done, Jessica.
And this is Terry.
That's
So just quickly about me too. Hi, everyone. I'm Terry, and I grew up in Novato and went to Marin Catholic. Boo. And so I'm just really, now I live in Pengrove and just am really pleased to be able to provide this this opportunity for my son to learn in art. Also, I'm an engineer, so I'm like the exact opposite of what one would expect as a parent in MSA, but it's so highly valued once you're part of the community and you really see it, as Dave refers to it, as magic, and we as parents really feel that way. So thank you, and we really look forward to serving on the board next year and continuing the legacy.
And then teachers, I just want to create some space. Or Shannon, did you want to say something real quick now? Okay. We're just pleased to be here.
Yes. Okay, we're going to read some of the proclamation we have for you guys. Proclamation Novato Marin School of the Arts at Novato High School 20th anniversary. Whereas Marin School of the Arts MSA began in 2003, utilizing the vision of founder Mark Peabody with the can-do resourcefulness of Superintendent Jan Latour Derby and the strong site support of Novato High School Principal Ray Mayoral. I had it wrong in my brain, I'm sorry. Whereas MSA is committed to individual and artistic exploration in an inclusive, supportive, and collaborative specialized art program within Novato High School. And whereas MSA connects and collaborates across disciplines and communities so that students use their passion and creativity to impact one another, other students at Novato High School, and the wider community around them. Whereas MSA at 20 years is all about a continued process of becoming Marin School of the Arts, welcoming those who have deep established roots and those with fresh perspectives, growing and creating together. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Governing Board of Novato Unified School District hereby commands Marin School of the Arts at Novato High School for its extraordinary contributions to the Novato community and its students, and looks forward to many more years of continued success in the arts.
But I want you all up here, and then Laura, I want you to join us too, please. Yeah, that's all of us. There you go.
If you stood up here, you get in the picture.
You didn't bring the UCLA stuff.
And Laura, could you come over here with Dave for just a second? So, okay, so before we take the photo, I just want to acknowledge Laura and Dave. We probably met 20 years ago when we were the new people in Hamilton. And, I'm sorry, I forgot about we're on TV. They came into Hamilton with a posse, and it was Debbie and her husband, and the Paces, and Rivettis, and Liz, and all this group. Yes, and the Euchers. Oh my gosh! And Hamilton was just trying to revive itself, and this amazing group of parents came in and said, "What do you need? We're here. We're ready to go." They started with "Have a Heart." And there was Ruth Ann, shorter than me. I always love that. Yes, a giant in her field. And they put together a group that was just completely supportive and said, we are here to do whatever we can. For the last 13 years, though, they've been part of MSA, not in a small way, in a huge way, and gave tirelessly. Every single event, they were there, on the weekends, at night, wherever they were. And their daughters have all gone through and done amazing jobs. But this little one they got right now, Gabby, is something special. And if you haven't seen her perform, I hope you'll be able to. It's a love for the arts. They met in an a cappella choir when they were in college. And so they might want to sing tonight.
Well, sure.
I didn't know I was talking, let alone singing.
Don't give them the mic. Don't give them the opportunity.
Someday.
Okay, that was good. Could be better, but anyway, we did this little just because we wanted to put your names in light, because you are always putting others in light and before you, and everything that you've done for us. So for your tireless leadership and support for the Marin School of the Arts and 13 years of exceptional service. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Okay, I'll kind of. Okay, now we getting? Okay, they have it. Okay, if you just kind of get. Okay, all right. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we're 2 layers. All right.
Lovely.
Can I just say something really quick?
I keep it on.
So, being a MSA parent for 2 of my 3 kids, and both of them all 4 years, lived a lot of MSA life, and it changed both of them tremendously, and both of them are using those skills today. But I also want to point out that I remember Novato High before MSA, so does Ray. And Ray having the willingness and the vision to let Mark come in with this crazy idea, and Jan running with it, was awesome. It transformed that school in so many ways. Prior to 2000 or so, was it? Or was 99? I can't remember. Or 01.
It was 2001, 2002.
Right.
We were on the beach in Hawaii when Mark says, we got to do this.
Okay.
And then 2003 is when Ray came, and here we are.
Yeah.
And it's been a wonderful ride.
And I just want to add one more name that we all know, but we all would really have to give heavy credit to, is Annie Hartgee. Annie was the heart and soul of MSA for 10 years. Everybody loved Annie. She took care of everyone. All the students loved her. So that's all. Thanks.
And if I could add something, I mean, as if you need any more like hype for this program, since my freshman year, I think you step on the campus and you realize that everybody has got some spark about them, and everybody, like, the morale is just happier, and everybody is just, and the more I spent time around these people who are just like happy to be here, I realized that they're getting to do what they love every single day. And when you give it's like somebody, especially a kid who's like still growing and learning how to just like be, I think letting them do something they're in love with every single day is just so beneficial, and it's changed my own life, and I get to do what I love. I get to do what I love every single day, and it's totally impacted my life, even if I wasn't going into film or theater or anything like that. I've learned things, and I've made connections that like I wouldn't give up for the world. So it's a fantastic program. So I guess thank you to all of you guys. It's totally changed me.
Okay, we have to vote on this. So could I get a motion to approve?
I'll
this?
move to approve.
Thank you, and a second. Thank you. And it's a roll call vote. Trustee Butler is not here. Trustee Gasson?
Aye.
Trustee Jacobson, aye. Trustee Lametta?
Aye.
Trustee Mack?
Aye.
Trustee Millerick?
Aye.
Trustee Pickus?
Aye.
Wonderful. Okay, next up, we would like to acknowledge the also 20th anniversary of School Fuel. So would all of our wonderful School Fuel people come up, please? Would you guys like to introduce yourselves, please?
Sure. I'm Susan Matthews. I'm the School Fuel Executive Director. I've been in that role since 2006. We had a lot of founders who were involved in 2003, and I want to direct all of your attention to the wonderful timeline and big wall of scrapbook that Hope put together that's out here in the lobby that gives you an overview of some of the highlights from our 20 years. And I have former President Elizabeth Sleeth here with me, current President Kate McNear, board members Hope Blackman and Stephanie Erickson. And we're just really excited to do all the things that we do for this district. I have 3 kids who've gone K-12 through this district, and they've had wonderful experiences, but what we're all about is making sure every kid in this district has a wonderful experience. We want every kid to have something that they look forward to about being at school every day, and all of the kids can start off in elementary school with a variety of choices of things that they can do and have these wonderful programs like MSA and STEM and robotics that come later on. All of them have the access to get to those opportunities if that's the thing for them someday. So thank you all for your support in helping that happen.
Thank you.
You want to say anything?
So, but you're a founder and you're a founder. You two are founders, right?
Yeah.
You say that about yourself. So that's a big deal. Still here, keep doing it.
And we're still here.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Well, I want to say thank you to Elizabeth Sleeth, our first president, who has continued to be involved. Third president, founder, and third president, who's been involved all this time as a volunteer for Novato schools, and to Susan Matthews, who's been our one and only executive director and has given of herself for 20 years now, plus all the other volunteering. But School Fuel really would not be what it is at all without Susan. So we appreciate you so much and all you've done for Novato kids. And it's so moving. My kids are also MSA students, and it's so moving to see all of this. And for me, I really feel that the focus of School Fuel is to provide these programs for all kids, arts for sure, but also STEM, also wellness, also, field trips, science, math, English, literacy. We provide all of these programs for kids, and the robotics program, we're sponsors of them too. We really want to give kids throughout Novato, every single school, no matter the school's resources, the opportunities to have these programs and to grow up loving school. So thank you, and we really thank the community for your support. We look forward to Tour Novato.
Oh, I forgot that.
I like how you always get a plug in.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's my job.
So this proclamation is to Novato School Fuel Foundation 20th anniversary. Whereas in 2003, the Novato School Fuel Foundation for Public Education was formed to develop a strong and long-lasting educational foundation to support and enrich the education available to all students in Novato Public Schools. And whereas School Fuel serves as the primary district-wide nonprofit fundraising organization for the Novato Unified School District and works in partnership with school, parents, and local businesses to identify and support programs that benefit all students in the district. And whereas in the last year, over 250 adults and students participated in School Fuel programs as volunteers, and School Fuel has significantly impacted the lives of over 7,000 students in programs in art, music, literacy, STEM, and so much more. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Governing Board of the Novato Unified School District hereby commends School Fuel and the Foundation for Public Education in Novato for its extraordinary contribution to the Novato community and its students, and looks forward to many, many years of continued success.
Picture.
Thank you.
to make some comments?
Yes, please.
Thank you. School fuel is, it's more than the 7,000 students that you supported. It's more than the work you do. Coming to live in Novato, which we did in 1991, this town, and Fran Rosoff is sitting here, and you're one of the first people I met along with Margaret Hackinson. This town is committed to the success of its children. We have faculty on this campus that are third generation teaching in the same classrooms that their grandparents taught in or studied in. This town is a miraculous place, and it's miraculous because of our instructors, but the school fuel community describes the way the community thinks about how education works. We publicize our meetings. If somebody wants to come and talk to us, while they're watching on TV, they put their slippers on and come down here and tell us what they think. This is a community organization, and with that same enthusiasm, they'll support the robotics club and they'll support the chess club to make sure not just some kids get a deal, but there's an opportunity for every child in this place to find out how they're going to excel. I'm sad that we lost ROTC actually, but we've had other programs step forward. This is a very unique town to live in. This is like some New England town that you read about in the 1700s or 1600s, where everybody gets a say and everybody has a role and everybody has to make a contribution. And it could be Mike Jolly, or it could be Fran Rosoff, or it could be Dr. Derby, or it could be Abby Pickus, who's decided that she's loyal to Novato, not to TAM. I'm like, this is good. This is good. But it's this amazing culture that exists, and I particularly am thankful to the school fuel community, because they carry that ball when we're busy teaching kids and we're doing administrative stuff, and they hold the community together. And I am extraordinarily thankful and glad to participate with them. And Martin Sleeth and I have spent many sleepless nights taking care of issues that you guys come up with to take care of. So thank you very much. It's been wonderful. I'm looking forward to the vote.
Okay, would anyone like to move that we adopt this proclamation? Ross?
I will make
Mr.
that
Miller?
motion. I would be honored to make that motion.
Second? Okay, this is also a roll call vote. Trustee Butler is absent. Trustee Gasson?
Aye.
Trustee Jacobson is aye. Trustee Lametta?
Aye.
Trustee Mack? Trustee Millerick?
Aye.
Trustee Pickus?
Aye.
Approved. All right, next up, we will be honoring our parcel tax committee members. We have some, they're not plaques.
No, there's certificates.
They're certificates.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
I'm going to read off the names, and Jan's going to hand those out. If you hear your name, please come up. Part of our finance and funding team, we have Aaron Compton. We have Alan Harris. We have Mr. Mike Jolly. We have Mr. Greg Nell. Oh, did I say Greg? Derek Nell. It's right in front of me. I'm so sorry. And Shannon Williams. Okay. Oh, so sorry. On our endorsement team, we have Jennifer Goldfinger and Fran Rosoff. On our visibility team, we have Tom Engold. Engdahl, sorry. And Juliet Jones. Our field team members, Jeff Schenkel. And Tanisa, I'll spare you ruining your last name. I'm on a roll tonight, though. our support team, we have Leslie Benjamin. Yeah, make her get up there. And Luciana Castellucci.
Okay, so.
Microphone.
Oh, I needed mic, right? We met for many, many Mondays at Luciana's house. And it took everyone here and everyone in the community to make this happen. It wasn't just two people, it was everyone every week, every Saturday, every Monday to put something together. I'm going to let everyone say a little something, but it was a different approach that we used, and it worked. And I think we all feel such a sense of indebtedness to our senior citizens in Novato because they pulled through on behalf of all of us. They were the highest voters. And that means that we got to talk to them. Fran Rosoff's brother-in-law hardly let us off his front porch. We were there hours. But it's because we went out into the community and had conversations and explained and were transparent and said, this is what we need. And they know that we, those of us that are older, I'm one of those, is supporting the next generation. And that's our responsibility in public education. So it took everyone standing here and more. So I'm going to just pass this down. These are two kind of our co-chairs here.
Yes. Co-chairs for the field team, Tanisa Vilmano. I know, it's not that hard. It feels like I don't know what to do with my Mondays now that I have all this time back. It really was like a full-time job for a while getting this all together, but I was sort of blown away by the willingness of everybody from PTA members to people that haven't had kids in schools in decades and teachers and admins to be out getting the work done to knock on doors and make this happen. The feeling in the room when it came through at 83%, like, was the best feeling that I could ever imagine. And we didn't just do it, like, we nailed it, which is fantastic. So thank you.
Yeah, agreed. It's good to be a part of a win. And so it's great to be at a meeting where there's a lot of joyful news, too. So thanks for including us in this. And I think I want to thank the board also, because I know in the beginning process, when you invited the whole community to be a part of this with the Blue Ribbon Committee, you could sense some anxiety. We're completely letting go of this and putting it in the hands of others. Some who are no's, some who are passionate no's, some who are yes and overly zealous yeses like myself, and getting them all around a table to talk about it, to talk about what we can propose to the community. We can't resolve our conflicts over Facebook posts and next door and necessarily even here, but we can over several hours of conversation. So thank you for inviting us into that. This is a great starting place. And I think all of us now, I think everyone on this team knows that 251 is great. It's a good starting point. We don't want to see cuts. We want to see raises. And so whenever we continue to tell the story and you want help with that, we look forward to helping getting that done again. So.
Well, I'm proud to be a part of this group. It made me proud to be a member of this community, a member of the Novato community, but a member of the NUSD community. So thank you all for being a part of it and allowing me to be there.
Well, I get to thank Jennifer, who roped me into this whole thing. And if you saw a sign anywhere in Novato, I had something to do with it. More importantly, this is an amazing group of people, and we had so much fun. Thanks, everyone.
Wow. Well, as a 45-year resident of Novato, as a retired teacher from the Novato Unified School District, as a parent of 4 children and a grandchild that will be coming into the district next year, and as a former business owner here in Novato, I have to say that it has been a privilege and a pleasure to work with this collaborative group of people. And I've worked on, as you know, many parcel taxes. And I have to say this was the most collaborative process involving, as we mentioned, the Blue Ribbon Committee. There were people there that agreed with the parcel tax and others that did not. But to sit down and have a conversation, what we need to do more in this world, and certainly in this country, to sit down and talk about our disagreements and come to consensus and move forward and do what we did. The last one didn't pass, and we just took it and we went with it, and we won. And it's just, again, a privilege and a pleasure to see the process and to work with an amazing group of people who've, going to make Novato a better place every day by supporting our kids. So thank you so much.
Ditto. I have to one up, Fran. I've lived in Novato for 50 years. I only have 2 children, and they both went through Novato schools K-12. I used to work on the other end of Grant Avenue for the city of Novato, so this is a slightly different experience, but it was very gratifying. It was fabulous to see how all of us played a role, did what they were asked, and then some. And we'll see you in a couple of years.
Couple of years, okay. Well, I just want to acknowledge, thank, and appreciate 2 people who aren't standing with us, and that is Jan Derby and Debbie Butler, who, without their support every Monday and every Saturday and during the week, all of this would not have been possible. It was really their driving force and voice who really brought us all together to really get this passed. So thank you very much.
Big thank you to everybody in the community for supporting. A special appreciation for the donors. It takes money to make the wheels go round, and I'm sure our finance chair will mention as well, but a big thank you to our vendors and all the supporters of our campaign.
So I was super honored to be a part of this amazing group of connectivity and ideas and innovative thinking. But I was more so impressed with our over 65 population in Novato. We had a lot of naysayers. There's a lot of folks out there that was like, it'll never happen. It'll never happen. If they could save 251, they're going to save 251, right? It didn't happen that way. A majority of our votes were our senior population, and I'm grateful for that because it's their legacy too. So it's a legacy for all of us. It's a win for every single child that attends NUSD and everybody who's a parent or relative or neighbor. It affects everyone. There's nothing negative that came out of this except the camaraderie that we were able to build. So I think I'm super grateful for that. I'm super grateful for everyone here and that people aren't here.
And this was an astonishing group of people to be among and to learn from and to just have a wonderful time with. Like Fran said, it was highly collaborative. We worked as a team, and we dialogued and discussed. It was an honor to get Derek, after he surrendered the gavel, to come aboard on my finance team, and he was fantastic. And we have some donors right here in the room tonight, like Susan and Mrs. Leith and others, who were generous beyond measure. And that was the whole point. Like Ross is saying, this is an incredibly generous community. And of course, we leveraged $100,000 into $32 million, which is a tremendous accomplishment to do. And perhaps that number will grow bigger. But I kept thinking, in the 2.5 months this occupied in my life with emails and calls, of the 7,500 students, because I saw their faces, I thought of them, they're our legacy. That's what all this is about in this room and everything that we, and my son was one, my 2 grandchildren, the 2 others. This is just a giving community, and the voters and the citizens of Nevada were truly the champions in the process. They again measured up to support the legacy of their children. So to them, I say thank you.
Thank you. I'm just so grateful to have been part of this team. I really think that one of my biggest takeaways was that my kids and all of the kids in Novato got a win out of this. The community played a big part, but really the kids are the winners. That's all. It was so much fun. Thanks.
As one of the older
seniors on this group. It was just a really wonderful time to meet so many engaged people who shared a common commitment to support public education. And I think that a couple, 3, 5 years perhaps, we'll be at it again, either for ongoing maintenance and completion of our facility requirements or an upgrade to the amount of operational support that Measure A has provided. But thank you for letting me participate with you, and I had a lot of fun.
Thank you all.
Don't go away. We need a photo. Steph, are you going to do it? Okay. But we're probably going to need. We got to get together. Yeah. Two rounds. Yeah.
Three, two, one.
Thank you. Good job. Yeah. Okay, we're now on to non-agenda public comment, of which we have none. So we will go to item 12, staff report. Our first item is Youth Truth Survey and District English Learner Advisory Committee Parent Survey, presented by Leslie Benjamin and Carrie Coulter.
Thank you very much. Well, what a special evening celebrating our community. This is really fantastic. So I'm Leslie Benjamin, the Director of Communications and Community Engagement, and for 6 years we've been doing the Youth Truth Student Survey, and it gets better every year. Let me see, today the realtors, there we go. We had a little snafu, but we figured it out. So we had nearly 7,000 respondents to the Youth Truth Survey, 82% of our students, 37% of our families, which seems low from last year. However, according to Youth Truth, their average is 18 or 19%, and they like to see 30, so we still blow it out of the water with our families. And then our staff at 73%. Every year we meet with our representative to go over the results. One thing that was different this year is that Dr. Derby and I reviewed the results with the principals at the monthly site visits and really focused in on their areas of improvement, but their areas of success. And they're going to be used, the results, and were their areas of focus for their school plan for student achievement and used for their principal goals next year. This is a slide with the links to the surveys at the district level. Anybody in the community is welcome to look at these links. Also at the school sites, all the principals have public links for anybody who'd like to dive into their schools to see what was said. So I would like to talk about our areas of success, and we had a lot of areas of success, but I'm going to focus on the students. And two areas that came up were the elementary for academic challenge and for the high school, at the high school level, college and career readiness. So these are the questions that are included for academic challenge for elementary students, and one that really rose to the top was, does what you learn in school help you in life? And that was highly rated among our elementary students. And our high school students, college and career readiness. My school helped me understand the steps I needed to take in order to apply to college, and they helped me understand the steps in order to have the career that I want. And I really attribute this to all ninth graders take the college and career readiness course, and I think that really lends itself to having such a high score in this area. So an area of improvement. So as last year, the elementary, middle, and high school culture was an area of improvement, and it is again this year. And I also included for the middle school relationships and academic challenge. So these are the questions that were under culture. So for the elementary, I've highlighted the two that were rated the lowest. Do students behave in class, and do students in your class treat the teacher with respect? And was for secondary students, what was rated low was adults from my school treat students with respect. And also, I feel safe during school. So culture is definitely an area. And then going on to middle school students, relationship theme was another one that was rated low. And these are the questions for them. And two that were rated the lowest was how many of your teachers are willing to give extra help on schoolwork if you need it, and how many of your teachers try to be fair. And then for academic challenge, my teachers give me assignments that really help me learn, and my teachers explain things in a way that I understand. And so during the site visits with Dr. Derby, we would dig into a lot of these questions. We would look at them at a high level, but then we'd also dig down into looking at the questions that were, if there was a theme that was rated low, then we'd kind of dig into that, look at the question, and then disaggregate it between if it was is it difference between boys and girls, was it ethnicity, what is it? So we really dug into it and gave them an opportunity to look at those results. And now I'm going to turn it over to Carrie Coulter to go over the District English Learner Advisory Committee Needs Assessment.
Thank you. Thank you, Leslie.
You're welcome.
Good evening. As Leslie said, I'm the English Learner Program Coordinator, and one of my roles is to facilitate the District English Language Advisory Committee. And one of the responsibilities of the DLAC committee is to send out an annual needs assessment survey to our English learner families that allows us to gather data that is specific to this group and that can be used to drive our goals and alignment of resources based on the need at the district and site level. So this year, the needs assessment survey questions were chosen by the DLAC committee through a selection process. We used previous NUSD needs assessments as a guide and surveys from other districts. And so we went through kind of a process of elimination of what information that the group really wanted to gather from families. So the initial needs assessment was sent out at the beginning of February and was to be completed by February 15th. But at the closing date of the survey, after sending it out twice through Parent Square, we had less than 180 families engage with the survey. And so with feedback from the DLAC committee, we decided to send the survey out again with the due date of March 15th. And we worked in collaboration with site principals and our community liaisons to get as many survey responses as possible. So I really want to take this moment to shout out our community liaisons, because without our community liaisons, we would not have been able to get as much engagement as we did. They were able to call families on the phone and input the data into the Google form, as well as one of our community liaisons took the questions out of the Google form and they did it paper, so it could be, they put it on a Google sheet, so it could be done paper pencil at ELAC meetings, and then the data was inputted into the form as well. So I just want to give them the credit that is due. So our final participation was, we had 473 responses, and although this number fluctuates just due to reclassification and new enrollees, we have about 1,242 English learner students in our district, so that would be reflective of families, not accounting for our unaccompanied minors there. So, and then the results of the needs assessment survey, they were presented to DLAC on March 16th. So some areas of success, sorry, technical difficulties.
So just,
there we go.
You just want to do that.
Okay, all right. So some areas of success. So on the question, I am informed to our families, I am being informed of my child's progress on the California English Language Proficiency Assessments of California, the LPAC. Over 87.5% of families reported that they either agree or strongly agree that they are being informed about their students' LPAC scores. And so one of the things that Leslie and I did is we made some parallels between the needs assessment survey data and the Youth Truth. So results from a similar question on the Youth Truth student survey, I receive regular feedback on my child's progress, shows that when disaggregated by subgroup, Hispanic responses were above the average and fell around 80th percentile. So looks like we're doing pretty well with communicating. Then on the next, oh man, I did it again. Sorry. I don't know why I did that. So on the next question, I feel welcome and included at my child's school. 91.9% of families strongly agree or agree that they feel welcome at their child's school. So that is really positive. And the parallel to the Youth Truth Survey, another question, so results from a similar question was, I feel valued by my school, shows that when disaggregated by subgroup, Hispanic responses were above average around the 70th percentile. So overall, elementary families responses fell within 74th percentile, with Hispanic responses around the 80th percentile. So that's also really positive. So the areas of improvement would be just the other, on the first question, there's about 12.5% of families. We want to make sure all of our families are well informed about their students' progress on the LPAC, as well as the other 8% of families that were saying that they do not necessarily feel welcome at their child's school. So an overall area of improvement is to increase the percentage of participation. So if we think about it, one of the things when we debriefed about the data at DLAC is the parents said, we don't have enough information. There's over 700 families that we haven't heard from, and what are they saying? And so what we did is we went through a process of brainstorming ideas from the parents of how can we increase participation to hear from all of our families. And some of the things, will you switch into? Yes. Teamwork. So some of the ideas from the parents were, our Hispanic families are really connected to their teacher, and so they said if the teacher could send out the survey. So that was one thing that they suggested. Also, discuss the survey at parent-teacher conferences. So they just felt like they had more information and understood what they were filling out and why. And another idea was to set up a table in front of the school during morning drop-off, and the parents that are involved in ELAC could assist families in filling out the DLAC Needs Assessment Survey. So there were some really great ideas that I hope that we will implement for next year's Needs Assessment Survey. So. That's neat. Okay, and that was it. So we'd just like to thank the Novato community, our students, families, and staff. Yep.
Go ahead, Trustee Gasson and then Trustee Mack.
Thank you for all that information, and actually also pulling out specifics about the responses in terms of the English language learners, because I'm wondering if our community liaisons are a big part of that. Making that connection with the families. I'm actually the chair of the 8th grade activities group, and it's been so helpful to have a community liaison, because I've been sending stuff out and nobody's responding to me. And we do try to do it bilingual, but Parent Square, there was just a little disconnect, I think, for some families. And then she actually went out, and my return of forms just increased drastically because they had that connection, they understood. And so I think that shows a lot in what the information you provided. So thank you for that and for the work being done.
I want to say the same. Thanks for doing this again. I remember when this was brand new and it was so revolutionary, and now it's something that we really, it's table stakes for us. It really is instrumental for us knowing what to do going into our planning process for next year. Going back to the presentation, can you just jump back to slide 7? It's just something that stood out to me. And as you guys know, I'm a bit of a data geek. And what pops up here is the lower half of that page is all school safety. And I know those drops are not huge, but they're all drops, and they're consistent across all levels, which kind of surprises me. I thought maybe you might see at the secondary levels more so. Any thoughts on that, or any thoughts on one, what's causing it, two, what we might want to do to address it, or maybe Jan?
Yeah. We've been talking to the city of Novato about doing we've started our own after-school programs, and I think that's really critical. But we've been talking to the city of Novato, and we'll be meeting with Katie next week about what we can do jointly to offer a variety of enrichment, sports, academics, whatever, so that we can make sure that kids are engaged and supervised, because some kids aren't. And we know that, and we want to give everybody the same opportunities, whether it's horseback riding, whether it's, surfing, whether it's whatever, because we think, we've been talking very strongly with Play Marin, with Paul Austin. He is doing our middle school program right now. We are talking about starting an intramural sports program and then the after-school program, and we talked to him about a summer program. His organization will be one of many. But the city's very interested in trying to do something to make sure that we are preserving peace and engagement for all of our kids.
So I'll just put a plug in, so this is where ELAP would come in.
Yes, that's exactly right.
And maybe even us staffing that and make,
yes,
this is the reason for it.
Yes, and the thing is, we've been talking about, because we've been advertising for that position for almost 2 years now, and if you don't have somebody in the position, you give them money back. And we know that it's ongoing funds, and we need somebody to coordinate that. It's seriously important.
If you could maybe just also talk about the physical campus safety and the assessments that are happening, maybe give our community just an update on those pieces, because I think that's also, there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. That would be helpful to kind of just, I know we're getting an update in May, I believe.
Yes,
but
you're getting one soon. I don't know, Lois, if Tony or which one of you would like to talk about all of the bids that we're getting right now on the cameras and the fencing and the safety.
The safety
they're looking
consultant
at
that's
John.
going around, yeah.
Okay, this is good, because John can do this. And they've completed quite a few of the assessments, right?
Yeah, so they've done all the assessments for all of the sites, with the exception of some of the nighttime assessments, which they're going to be doing in the next couple weeks. They're going to do about 4 sites a night to try and see what's happening during the night. The Ocularis projects are, we're at a spot now to where we have awarded that project, and it's about to start at the high schools. The elementary schools and middle schools will take place. Should be completed before summer starts. And then they're finalizing their assessments, and we're hoping to have that done by the end of the year with the rest of the projects.
Wait, can I, so to be clear, for the high school camera project, that's, when you say Oculus, you mean replace the Oculus with the new camera proposal, is that correct?
Exactly. At those existing locations, they're replacing those cameras, with the exception, there's a few that they're leaving that are 4-way cameras right now. Those will be replaced as part of the next phase.
Okay, so so did you say there was one date for the high school and a different, I'm confused between replace Oculus, which I don't know where they are, with here's the high school program and here's the middle school program. So help me.
So the Ocularis will be whatever the existing cameras are at the high schools. It'd be Samarin and it would be Novato High. They're going to go ahead and they're going to start that project in the next couple weeks. They're going through right now inventorying the cameras that they have. They're tagging them for asset tagging. They're doing some testing, and then they'll go ahead and they'll do their rip and replace.
And did we approve a contract for that? Am I confused? Did this board approve that contract?
I believe that contract was approved, if I recall correctly.
If they're doing the work, I hope so. I'm confused.
I'm just trying to remember. It's AMS, And, yeah, okay. It's AMS that's coming in to do the work. It's under the limit, correct? So it's a CUPCA. We didn't have to go out to bid?
Oh,
Yeah, it was approved on the consent, correct, yeah. It was under the CUPCA limit.
oh, okay, so that's,
Of
maybe that's.
60,000,
Okay,
yeah.
so that work will start in the month of April,
Yeah.
and it will be completed in the month of,
They should have that complete before the end of May.
completed in the month of May, and that's the high schools. And then for the middle schools,
Excuse me?
for the middle schools,
So the middle schools, they are, they're priced that out. We're going to bring that to you for approval. That too will fall right in line with the exception of Hill, which we are doing a little bit more investigation on, which will, it'll fall in line to be complete before the end of May.
okay, and is it coming to our next board meeting, Lois? Do you have it scheduled for that, or?
I believe that is. I'd have to double check, but I
Okay.
believe it is, yes.
Okay. So board approval, and then start in, sounds like it's going to start in April, or it's going to start in May and finish.
But these are all still the Ocularis replacements. This is not the additional cameras we're adding.
Okay.
And the Ocularis.
Now I'm confused.
The Ocularis are simply the removal of the existing cameras that are in right now, replacing them with the new cameras. We're adding additional cameras to those based on those site assessments. Those will be completed by the end of the year.
And you have approval, did we approve that contract, the replace, or is that coming from?
No, that one's going to come back to you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so this isn't the right venue for a detailed project plan, but I'm looking for those dates and the number of cameras in each one of those suites, and, yeah.
We're actually, yeah.
The board, I think all of us would like to,
It is coming
yeah, okay.
soon.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. I look forward to more clarification.
I guess I would just leave it as we start talking about the LCAP next year. I'm looking in the audience, sorry. The school safety be part of what we're looking at for staff as well as families. That's where I'm going, so.
Trustee Pickus?
Oh, that was far more detailed than I anticipated. I just wanted to say that we're doing site assessments and that we're looking at what needs to be done to make sure that all of our sites have sort of these foundational safety elements. So thank you for being here with a fancy binder and all the details.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
It's a spreadsheet. Are we going to speak to this, or should I ask questions?
You have questions about the spreadsheet?
Yeah.
Okay, you can respond.
Okay, so on the very first page, student responses, grade 3 through 5, I went down, and all the high numbers are marked in yellow. That's great. Thank you. I think all the high numbers are marked in yellow. So I went down to the Linwood row, the 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth box over, and I got something in the 9th percentile. And so what I went looking for is the lowest number, not the highest number. So the question is there something we can learn? Is there something we can learn by looking at where we're missing as opposed to where we're achieving the results?
Right. I was going to say that Dr. Derby and I, this is one of the things that we would talk about with the principals. We would focus in on engagement in the 9th percentile where, it's dropped, and then we would dig into that and look at the questions, and then it's up to the principal to go further.
Yeah, I guess my point is in that particular box, it goes from 19th percentile to 20th percentile to 9th percentile. I'm assuming COVID's got something to do with engagement, but this spans over past COVID, so I guess I am more interested in than just having you and Dr. Derby have a nice talk with them. I would like something more tangible or specific as a response to something falling below 1 in 10 kids think that we're doing a good job.
So
that's alarming in my mind.
Yeah, here's what we're doing with here's what we've done with all of them so far. And I'm starting goal setting with them on Thursday. So what we're looking at was there clarity of the question?
Yep.
Was it, so that we can say, yes, this is accurate data, or is there something that needed to be changed? So they're selecting 3 areas that they want to work on for next year. They will be in the school plans. So when you see them, when the SIPSAs come to you, they will select 3 areas, and they'll talk about what they want to achieve. Because when we see the percentile scores decreasing, those are areas of concern. If it's a question issue, we talk about that, because there was one question that was not comparable to last year because of the way the wording was changed. So anyway, they're selecting for their own goals this week, and then they are putting them in the SIPSA, and they'll be working with their school site councils and then getting information out to their staffs.
Okay.
And then we will use this data to select some district areas, and safety is one of our primary that Leslie and I have been discussing.
So I'd like to just call out that Linwood row and the 2023 numbers, and everything else is kind of stays pretty steady, but on that particular row, on multiple boxes, they're dropping dramatically. So it looks like it isn't just a bad question, which it may be. There's something, there's some issue that needs your attention on that campus.
Absolutely. You're right, Ross.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the response.
As a follow-up, I was just, now that we're looking at those numbers, how much impact does it have if there's like a small pool of people responding? So I noticed that we were talking earlier about, I'm actually looking at the family response page, and that we only had like 37%, so sometimes when I look at these numbers, I wonder, is this 10 people? Or is it, more than that? Not for an answer, but just when we're thinking about things globally, something can get really skewed in some things just because there was only a handful of people versus more
Right,
people.
and I think maybe that's something that can be looked at by the school site and see how many families actually responded to that school's report. I mean, district-wide, we had over 1,800 families, or 1,800 people who responded. So that might help look at that data to understand how many people in that school responded. And we can always do better on getting family responses.
Right. It was very
Absolutely.
interesting that when we spoke to the people from Youth Truth, he was going, "Oh, you have fabulous results for family." I went, "What?" At 37%, that didn't seem fabulous to me. And I would say, is it skewed data, or do we need to do something more? I don't feel that way about the students and the staff input, because those percentages were much higher. And so I do think it's accurate data that's coming to us, and I think we need to listen.
Yeah, no, I was looking actually at the family one. And
Yeah.
I forgot to also just add, I've been so glad that we have consistency too, that we've got, years. I remember when we first started this, it's great information, but it's even more meaningful when you can look at trends and, having it laid out in the 3 years is, despite the COVID challenges too, it was really helpful.
Okay, we're going to move on to discussion action. Item A, approval of perimeter security fence scope of work and cost estimate for track and field renovation projects at San Jose Middle School and Sinaloa Middle School. We have John and Lois. And Tony.
There you stand. All right, thank you. So about a month ago, we brought the new track and field projects for San Jose and Sinaloa to you. And you tasked us with, you didn't want the fence on the inside of the track at that point. You wanted it on the outside of the track, but tasked us with doing a little bit of investigation of your existing sites and seeing what that district standard was at your other field projects. So tonight we're going to go over what we've seen as the standard throughout the district, both at Novato High and at San Marin. We'll look at both of the sites, kind of an overview of San Jose, and then as well as a couple of the options that we came up with. Do the same thing for Sinaloa. We'll talk about the gate security access controls that for at least one of the gates, so that the district can monitor who goes in and who goes out. We put some numbers together for the cost estimate with that, and then we'll give you our recommendations for approval. And then if you have any questions, we'll We'll take those. So at Novato High, we went out, we took photos over at the football field. There you have a 4-foot inside fence that is on the outside of the track. It's outside of that safety lane. And then at San Marin, the same thing. Everything right around the track on the outside of the field is a 4-foot perimeter fence. Bordering that, you appear to have a 6 to 8 foot fence at both locations. At San Marin, it's 6 feet, and at Novato High, it's 8 feet. So when we look at San Jose, and the layout is fairly similar. This is the existing photos that we're seeing. Remember that track does extend out into the new, or into the existing playground area. And then also notice the topography of at the above on the top side of the photo, where it's a hillside that goes all the way up to an existing fence up there that borders housing, and then along the bottom, it does drop down onto that baseball field. There is a fence that is existing on the left side as well. So here we came up with two options. Obviously, there's the inside option, which presented some issues before, in which we thought that it would preclude anybody from watching any sports that are taking place. It would hold balls from being kicked or thrown outside of the track to go down to the slope section or outside of the sports area. You'll notice that the second option there is in blue. And that is an 8-foot fence on the outside of the track. We would provide fencing with gates around there for access. And at one of the gates, we would have a security access control to where you could check out either key fobs or cards. And we'll go over that in a second on how that would work. At Sinaloa, it's a little bit different. You've got the flat section where the track is. It does slope down towards Wilson Avenue. It also it flattens out as it approaches the right-hand side where the existing basketball courts are. And then you have a slope that goes up to the baseball field there. So we came up with three options here. Obviously, there's the inside of the track in green, but would be on the outside of the field. Again, that was something that we thought was not a very good idea, just in terms of being able to play sports and then watch those sports happen. There's the blue that's on the outside. That would be much like what we're saying we think would be best for Sinaloa. I'm sorry, for San Jose. And that is on the outside of that safety lane. Remember, that outside lane it's not really a running lane. It's a safety lane. So when you're running, you wouldn't be running and scraping your arms up against that fencing. Here too, we would have access control for key cards so that we could check those out. We also have a magenta or pink line that we did, and that would connect from the existing fencing along Wilson. It would come up alongside of the asphalt, and then it would climb up to the flat area right where the baseball field is, and would run all the way over to the existing fence to the left. I guess that is west, right? Yeah. So here we think that this magenta outline would be the best for the site. I think if we had the same kind of topography over at San Jose, we would suggest this for that too, but it becomes too cumbersome to go all the way up that hill and close that off.
Will you tell me if the baseball field's above or below this picture?
The baseball field is below that picture, so it would be below the red and brown. I think that's what F3 and F4. Yeah. Wilson is at the bottom.
Yeah, that's Wilson. That's the street. So baseball field.
Wilson is at the bottom. Yes, Wilson is at the bottom. The baseball field is up top. Sorry, I was thinking San Jose for a second. Tony was right. I was wrong. And then we've got the gate electronic security access control. So we would have a card reader at one of the gates. We would purchase some key fobs or cards. I'll give it to you in a second. We would have a programmer in which when we check these cards out, Tony would go, or Tony's staff would go and have to link into the card reader itself, and so that they could check out that particular card. And then obviously the software to log that all and make that work. Tony, you want to talk about the system and how it works?
So, how you guys doing? We actually did this in Sonoma when we started doing our middle school fields as well. And the thing that's great about this is, like John said, at my desk, I can program key fobs. We've all seen them with gyms and so on and so forth. They have the codes on there. We can trace that code to a certain person, family. We can restrict that key fob for, hey, you can't get on the field until, it won't open the gate until 5, and after 8 o'clock, if you shut that gate, you can't get back in. Make sure you got your drink and your bottle with you. Let's go. And water bottle, that's what I meant. So what I would do is we would program all these. We'd go out to the gate, key it up, have them all inputted into the system at both sites. So you would have it at Sinaloa and at San Jose. And then, put out to our community in those areas, anybody who wanted to, will have a certain date to come down here, meet with me, and sign out a key fob. How we would, if somebody was to lose one, or what we would do later, would we charge for a second one, first one free, charge for a second one? How would that work? That's stuff that we can work out as we go forward and move forward. But this would allow, and I know it does now, it allows Sonoma to grant the access to the community that had concerns about not being able to use the fields or the track, which I know we have here too. So, any questions on that? Yeah, Ross?
Thank you. I think that's a great response. I would like to put on the table an additional item. Across this country, school districts are moving to having key fob locks for every classroom on every campus. So as we look at this solution, think about, we can't afford it today, but think about the broader solution you would recommend to us.
That's actually what we had Mike, before he had left, we were looking into that for gyms and stuff, so. Great.
Thanks, sir.
That's where I was going to go to, the high schools. The high school fields, they don't have anything like this either.
And keep in mind, everything that we do, whether it be the classrooms or these fields, we still have to have a key entry, because if for some reason the fob doesn't work or the batteries go down, we have to have a way to get in.
Well, if you have law enforcement coming in, they need to be able to, with a physical asset, be able to move through the campus effectively.
Right. And they also have master keys. Yep. I made master keys to the departments themselves, so they will be able to get into whatever they need to.
Okay, I'll just wrap this up. So is it realistic to maybe sooner rather than later look to adding this type of functionality to the brand new high school fields as well?
Yeah. It's functionality, yes.
Budget-wise.
We have to look at budgets.
Right. I'm just maybe Jan and Madam President, something we can agendize at some point?
I think it's great. I actually had started looking at this originally when we were working on the other fields, because I said there's got to be a way that we can give access but not have to have somebody there all the time. But one of my thoughts as I'm going through this in my head, definitely want to encourage the community to be able to use it. How do we determine that they're just there to run a few laps versus actually doing like a whole party or game or something like that?
Well, what we would do is, we have to have some faith in the community, that honest people are going to be honest. When we do this is what we're doing. We're giving them a chance. If we find that somebody's abusing it, then all we have to do is find out what key fob that is and buy a wipe, just push on a button on my computer, I can wipe it out, and if they have any, problems, we can explain to them as to why we did that and so on and so forth. Obviously, we would discuss it with them before we did that, but, we're just not going to cut somebody's access off. Sometimes you make mistakes. So, go right ahead.
Also, as part of this, and you'll see the price in a moment, that we're providing, this number will provide for data and power for future cameras out to these locations.
So, and we have proof, like I said, proof from the other district that I was at that this works, and it works great. So that's why we're kind of leaning back on this. Anything else?
So I'm glad that you're looking at, once you're going out to the gate, those facilities, the cabling you're running and the connectivity you're running, you're looking at the broader solution of all the things you can use that for, if it's a security camera or security gate control or, there's even low LED lights now that can run over power over Ethernet that can give you at least safety lighting that you might not otherwise. So the range of things you can do with the low voltage systems is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. The system we put in now is going to take care of this district for the next 10 to 20 years. So I appreciate the broader vision of what we're going to get out of this.
Any other questions? Okay. All right, so now for the cost estimate. At Sinaloa, we really only have that one option, which was the blue option, the fence, an 8-foot. San Jose. I keep getting those confused tonight. I apologize. At San Jose, we only have the one option. It's the blue option. It's the fence on the 8-foot fence on the outside of the track.
Yeah.
It would include the one security access at one of the main gates. We would have additional gates that didn't have it. We would bring power as well as data out for the both Wi-Fi for that and then also for future camera. And that's a $25,000 ad. For Sinaloa, we do have two options. We eliminated obviously the inside option. Again, the blue was on the outside of the track. Same system, it'd be $30,700. It's a little bit of a further run. And then we also have the option which was in magenta, which was the fence that wasn't exactly around the perimeter, but it was kind of that L-shaped fencing that went from Wilson up to the baseball field and then to the west. And so that's a $10,136 option. That does include a mow band under that section of fence, because we would have a mow band under any other section. It's already part of the project.
What's that?
Okay. A mow band would be a section of concrete underneath the fence that runs along with the fence, so that when we're not having weeds growing up into the fence, and then when you're weed eating or mowing, you can't get to it. So the mow band is just that. It's a band to help you mow up against.
This particular option, what is the benefit of having a security fence as well as the magenta option as well as the blue option, right? If we have the magenta option that already fences off the space, do we then also need?
No, we're proposing an either or.
I'm with you.
Yes.
Great. Love
it. And I'll go back to that just so.
It's like, I don't think we need both. We don't. Great.
And that's the option there. So that magenta would be instead of either of the other two.
Great. I really like that because it gives access to the outside space as well, which I think more space. Great.
Yep.
We have a trustee question from Trustee Gasson.
Sorry, I'm just trying to visualize this. I actually drive by Sinaloa probably 4 or 5 times a day. So the pink line, I thought I got it at first. So that would be, I guess I'm wondering where the other corners are.
So that goes up against the existing fence along Wilson.
Already on Wilson.
That's already there. And then there's the fence that runs perpendicular to that up behind the houses. It would be to the west.
Right, but then you've got the field and then you've got the blacktop. So is there anything between those two or no? Or that's the other magenta line?
That's the magenta line. So you can see how it kind of...
So you use the existing fence that is already there and then you're doing the other side?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So it kind of tears off at the bottom because there's an existing double gate there. And then it would run up alongside. It would be right up on the blacktop, right next to the blacktop. would go all the way up to the baseball field where it ramps up, and then would head west.
And then that entry point that's on the corner, I don't know what I guess that's the west corner on Wilson, would be just modified because you can walk in now.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Trustee Miller?
2 questions. How many lanes are usable? You said there's a safety lane on the outside, which I'm trying, my eyes aren't good enough. Are we providing 6 lanes of running space on both tracks?
Correct. You have the same amount of lanes on both tracks.
And it's
yeah.
6,
and then that
right?
outside is.
I'm not doing a good job of counting here.
You could run on that outside because it's 6 inches outside.
Somebody ends up in the chain link fence is not my idea. Okay, so that's that. And then, so when I look at these pictures, and I'm going to put my back to you a little bit so I can actually, this picture of San Jose does not have space for bleachers other than portables that you would carry out and set on the track, which our maintenance guy might try and kill you if you do that.
We're nicer than
And we looked into that. We kind of thought about all options and how would the spectator, what would they be? But we also looked at it how it is now. People are on the track watching whatever that sport is that's happening, and it would be much of the same. They would just be on the track or on the edges of either in the D zones, which would be on either side of the field. Or they'll be on the sidelines, exactly.
On the turf.
Correct, right there.
Outside of the marked field, but inside of the track. Okay.
Yeah. Trustee Mack's right. They'll be close as possible.
Yeah.
Okay, but for Sinaloa, can you answer the same question for Sinaloa? Is there any space for bleachers on that slope up at the top or not?
No. So that gets flat up there where that would run, and then it slopes down to the track from there. So I guess you could sit up on the hill.
People would be sitting on the hill.
This is a slopey area.
Correct. That's correct. Yep.
Yeah, I've seen people sitting up there eating this, or I don't. Okay, but your plan does not include any kind of putting any structure there at all. It's just sitting in the grass on the slope, watching the game if you want.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
So I was going to hold off till you did your options, but I'll just clarify a little bit what Ross is talking about. So having run a lot of youth sports organizations, as soon as we start running a singing out for soccer, whatever it is, you're going to see people coming in with their chairs. And I'm going to ask the maintenance guy, what's your feeling about people marching in and plopping their chairs down on this brand new track?
Honestly, it's going to depend on the chair that they bring in. My thing is as long as so these tracks, they run with spikes. They have rubber spikes that are on there. A chair like this, as long as it's got the foot underneath it, it's fine. As long as it's not sharp where it's going to dig down into it, you're going to be fine. I don't see that being a big issue. If it is, it's something that we will address as we see if something does happen. And you know what, people, we're bound to have something happen. Okay.
All I know is at the high school, they'd never let it happen.
Yeah.
You're in the stands.
I've
Don't
actually
even think
taken
about it.
chairs all the time to flag football at Samron,
Okay.
and we put them on the turf and on the track, and they're fine.
Yeah, and Julie, you'll know too, like the old camping chairs that have the big feet on them, all that stuff's fine, really. It's
get the
going to
rocker
depend on
chair.
what we have. So, what's that? I thought somebody said something. Oh, I'm hearing things. It's all good.
Okay, let's hear the recommendation, please.
Okay, so at San Jose, our recommendation is an 8-foot fence, which was what was in blue, along with the security reader access system. And so we're asking for you to approve an additional $25,173 for that option. At Sinaloa, again, that is an 8-foot fence. That was the option, that was the magenta option. That would also include the card reader access system. That was an additional $10,136.
I'll move to approve it, and I want to commend you guys for being creative and coming up with that second option. You save some money there, and it's actually a better option. So good work. Thank you. So I'll move to approve.
Seconded by.
I'll second. With commendations to our team for working this through.
All in favor? Opposed? Passes 6-0 with 2 additional, I forget what the word is.
Advisory?
Votes.
Yes, yeah. I want to thank, we're moving to electronic access control. This is the first time in the district where we're doing this, and I am thrilled because now you can say you're authorized to use this Saturday afternoon at 4, but Sunday, morning, no, you can't get into the gym. This isn't gym control, but it will be. You've got much better control over the use of our facilities. Thank you very much. It's time for us to be modernized a little bit.
Thank you. Our next item is approval of resolution number 16-2022/23, approval of total base rent in the leaseback contract with Wright Contracting LLC for the HVAC installation and roof replacement project at Marin Oaks Hill Education Center. Same presenters, thank you.
Okay, so you've previously approved the site and facilities lease for the Hill campus with Marin Oaks and Nova. Tonight, we're asking for approval of the TBR agreement, total base rent agreement of $3,925,734.75. This is within the project budget. And with your approval, we would be ready to start this project this summer.
I'll move approval. This is how many more roofs, how many more HVAC campuses do we have to facilitate?
I've got 3 more coming next year.
Okay.
That will be coming to you, at least to get the architect approval for next board meeting.
I'll move approval of this one.
All those in favor? Oh, it's a roll call, sorry. Okay. Trustee Butler is not here. Trustee Gasson?
Aye.
Trustee Jacobson, aye. Trustee Lametta?
Aye.
Trustee Mack?
Aye.
Trustee Millerick?
Aye.
Trustee Pickus?
Aye.
Okay. Next item, approval of resolution number 20-2022/2023, certified employee application week, May 1st through 5th, presented by Francesca Whitcomb.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hello. So before you, you have another resolution this evening honoring and appreciating our certificated educators coming up the first week in May. And it's exciting. I'm looking forward to my first round as HR director here, appreciating our wonderful and amazing staff, certificated and classified. So I think it's fairly self-explanatory, and I don't know if you are planning on reading the resolution, I don't know, or the proclamation, I don't know. I've done that in other districts, but...
I was not planning on reading it. Would you like me to? Do you want me to read it?
You could. You
Yes?
did really great earlier.
Oh. Okay. Resolution number 20-2022/2023 of the Novato Unified School District Certificated Teacher Appreciation Week, May 1st through 5th, 2023. Whereas education is the most vital activity we as a society undertake to ensure the well-being of the nation, and whereas certificated teachers serve the students and the community of Novato through their work at NUSD, whereas certificated teachers assist NUSD in the commitment to provide quality educational programs and services to the children of Novato, and whereas certificated teachers individually and collectively set an exemplary standard of performance and commitment, and whereas certificated teachers provide knowledge, skill, and expertise that are relied upon throughout the district, therefore, the Novato Unified District Board of Education expresses its gratitude and commend all certificated employees for their service at NUSD and join the nation in designating the week of May 1st through 5th, 2023 as Certificated Teacher Week. May I have a motion to pass this? Yes. To approve. Trustee Lametta, thank you. And second? Trustee Pickus. This is also a roll call vote. Trustee Gasson.
Aye.
Trustee Jacobson is an aye. Trustee Lametta.
Aye.
Trustee Mack.
Aye, aye.
Trustee Millerick.
Aye.
Trustee Pickus.
Aye.
Wonderful. Okay, we have one item from consent that we will now revisit. That is item F. Review and approve board policy and administrative regulations. Update in the 3000 series. We're actually going to just have Lois speak since you had your 3 minutes, unless there's a new comment to be made in a card.
Yes, there are, because I was going to ask questions.
Can she speak first?
Yes,
and then
of
we'll
course.
talk? Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Hello. Final item. Let's be fast. We missed the 7 o'clock, Jan. Okay, so we brought this for first reading last time. We gave a basic explanation. There have been some questions. I actually spoke to legal today on this and got a little more clarification, not all that much. I pretty much had confirmation of what we talked about before, that this is an item that speaks to the rules by which we need to follow in order to use electronic signatures. It's very clear that electronic signatures are here to stay. They're very much a part of business all around, and we like to think that we're part of the modern business world. We get many contracts from outside vendors through DocuSign, and then we also do some of our in-business through Google Docs. And those are the only two vehicles that I am aware that we use, through an approved way. I will say we don't always know what's going on at school sites, and part of our order is to figure out if there's something going on that shouldn't be. But this board policy gives us the structure by which we can focus on electronic signatures and say this is how we need to do it as a district. So other than that, I don't know what questions Mr. Harris has, but if there's any more from the board that you've come up against.
Who keeps the records under the DocuSign?
They're kept in files in each office where the documents are created or signed.
And
Electronically, they're kept electronically.
And on the Google?
Same thing.
Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, those contracts with the, and certain individuals have authority to use those, is that correct?
The Google, I'm sorry, I'm not understanding the question.
Yeah, the electronic signature apps that
If you have your own Google account, you can set up a signature. Now, only certain people in the district are allowed to sign documents, so it depends on the use. For instance, we use Google electronic signatures with our PAFs, our personal action forms, and it's really clear it says on the form who can sign in that space. So those are the only people that are part of that process.
So those records are district records or individual records?
District records. They would be kept by the department where they're kept. They go through us, and if an individual wants to keep them, that would be one thing. I know I don't keep every PAF that I sign. They're kept in the payroll department, and they're kept in the HR department.
So that when an individual leaves, the records
remain
retained?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Do we have anyone that would like to move to approve this? Trustee Millerick,
I'll
thank you.
move approval.
Second?
Item F.
By Trustee Pickus. All those in favor? And opposed? 6 approved and 2 advisory votes. Thank you.
Thank you.
That is adjournment of our meeting. Oh, wait. We meet next. Un momento. Our next meeting will be April 18th at 5 p.m. for regular meeting, 6 o'clock open session, and the 19th for our special meeting with Dr. Mohammed. Thank you.
Thank you.